Disclaimer, I cannot be held responsible for any donuts being murdered in this video. Anyway, this is another paddle for my, my veterans here. And this is, the weirdest thing about these battles with my veterans. It's really weird because I've never really been able to use Primeape, and the weird thing about that is, he was the one that I always used to use the most. So, that's kind of cool. I finally get to show off him, or her, because it's female. So I finally get to show off Primeape. I get to use everybody that I pick in this battle, so that's sort of cool. Usually you either just lose completely or you just totally sweep them. So I go with Primeape. I was having a little bit of trouble picking my guys, just because this guy's an Uber Noob. Kyogre, Rayquaza, Groudon, and Darkrai. And I think they took the entire minute to select their guys, because they weren't there. So, yeah. So anyway, the Magma Coliseum, I believe. Let me see. Dang, I forgot to cut that part. Okay, yeah, the Magma Coliseum. It's one of the cool ones, and finally, it's like one of the few that doesn't have a bad gimmick. You just fight people and beat the crap out of them. So anyway, out comes CandyKong, the Primeape, and Cutiepie, the Ledian. Don't ask me why I named Ledian Cutiepie, I just felt like it. So anyway, they send out the dreaded Darkrai and a Dragonite. But this is one of my actual YouTube Darkrai takedowns, because the first one that I had, was kind of not really fair, because it was a trick room and I just eruptioned him and I kicked his face. So anyway, Ledian, I took a while to decide what to use for them, because I didn't know whether or not Darkrai would go faster than Primeape, although I do not know if there's been a single instance of Darkrai beating my Primeape in a speed contest, because I have a speed nature on Primeape. So out comes Scumbag, the Swalot, and I get a critical close combat on Darkrai, so that was really nice. I already knew he didn't have a sash, so that was cool. And I have a sash on Primeape, so my defenses being lowered isn't really much of a problem. So Darkrai dies. He goes for Ice Beam because I had Ledian out just then. Oh, by the way, this battle is filled with good predictions on my side. So then they send out Charizard. And I knew that he was going to do something with that Charizard. And, I can't really concentrate on talking when I'm eating. Out comes, Wollywog, the Politoed, because I know he's going to use some fire move. And I scarfed Swalot for once. It actually beat something. Although his Charizard could have been scarfed. I don't really know. You know what, actually, I don't think it was. I just think it might have been a speed Charizard. So out comes Politoed. And he opens up with a Heat Wave. It does very, very little to Politoed, but it does not much to either of them, actually. My Swalot is a pretty big beast. And one thing that's kind of funny, I one-shot Dragonite with Ice Beam. When I was training the Swalot, what was it? This was like before I was really a competitive battler, so I didn't really know about the Choice Scarf. I didn't know what its exact effect was, so I didn't give it any EVs and speed at all. So they pick their next guy, which is Rayquaza. Fail for them. And Politoed, because I know that Rayquaza will probably one-shot Swalot right now, I just go on ahead for a Hypnosis. Because I needed to be asleep for right now. So I go for Hypnosis on Rayquaza, and then also Ice Beam on Rayquaza. And then he goes, I think he goes for, no, okay, he goes for Solar Beam. Thankfully it wasn't a Power Herb, it was just regular. So he goes for Dragon Pulse, and it knocks out Swalot, which is, I think his death animation is kind of cool. He opens his mile-wide mouth. Hypnosis hits, so that was nice, because I needed that to happen. And yeah, I'm sorry if that was like getting annoying, like me eating. Well, I don't know. Sorry if it was annoying, but I've already done it, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, out comes CandyKong the Primeape again. My focus stash, my focus stash. I got a stash of focus in this thing. My focus stash can still be activated because I'm still at full health. So, as Rayquaza's asleep, and I go for Ice Punch, and I one-shot Rayquaza once I actually get around to attacking because I swapped out, and that always goes first. Except for Pursuit. That's one of the coolest moves in the game, because you can hit somebody while they're swapping out. It's perfect for really dark type. Oh, I got another critical. No sash. That was nice. It's perfect for really powerful dark Pokemon. Because as soon as they send out like a Gengar or like an Alakazam or something like that, you can still kill them, or maybe not kill them, but you can bring them down to their sash. So he Solar Beams and does less. It does 12 damage, I think. I'm looking at the little preview video and I can't quite tell. It's either 11 or 12 damage. So yeah, I go for Air Cutter on Charizard because all my other moves would be not very effective. And then I go for Ice Punch with Primeape because the only one that would be good would be Payback, and that's not really what I'd want to be using anyway. I had been juggling Dark-type moves with Primeape and my Mankey for a long time. You're probably never going to see my Mankey. It's in my baby team. So, they're not built for Wi-Fi. Also, check that out. You see how much that Heat Wave did to Ledian? I mean, it did a lot, but he still survived. That's what was freaking awesome. He just survived a Charizard's Heat Wave. So anyway, Air Cutter. I was really expecting to get a couple critical hits with that, but I don't. Because I had just gotten 2 critical hits with Primeape. I thought maybe my luck would be just a little bit better, as if it wasn't good enough already. But I don't get any when I go for 2, and I don't get any. So, I go for Air Cutter again. And then I go for another close combat just to finish him off, because I know that it wouldn't really matter if I had used Ice Punch. I think close combat would do more, even with the not very effective, just with the stab and everything. So Air Cutter hits. It does barely anything. So, close combat, kaboom. Beat down by close combat. And he dies. Defense goes down. This is actually like a milestone battle for Primeape, because this is like the first time I've ever used him on Wi-Fi, and he didn't die. That's like freaking incredible, because he has such horrible defenses. So anyway, I wins, and as the typical Uber Noob, they decline the friend pass, so wall, suck it, I wins. Bye.